They say power reveals a person's true nature. But you ever wonder what happens when power gets a wake-up call in broad daylight, with the whole world watching? Yeah, this isn't some made-up courtroom drama. This is about a moment that started as just another day and ended with an entire town, maybe even a country, asking itself some hard questions. And I should know because I was there, watching as Judge Terrence Malcolm Everett found out what happens when a robe comes off and you're just a black man at a rest stop in the middle of nowhere. It was supposed to be a simple break, 10 minutes, a stretch, maybe a cold drink, then back on the road. Judge Everett had just wrapped up a 3-day conference up in Topeka, Kansas, and was itching to get home to Little Rock. No formal suit, no big badge of honor, just a tired man in a gray polo, jeans, and eyes that told the story of too many late nights and too many people expecting him to fix the world. Sunlight slipping west, painting that long Arkansas highway in orange. After 4 hours behind the wheel, he pulled into a rest stop near Coffeeville, a blip of a town most folks speed past. Unless you live there, which most don't. Everett parked under a skinny tree, cracked his neck, checked his phone, a voicemail from his clerk, another from his wife, Yvonne. He called her back, promised her he wasn't driving while talking, and the conversation drifted from dinner plans to their son's report card, just quiet, everyday stuff, the kind of moments that let you breathe again. You know what I mean? And then he noticed Ida, white pickup, crawling into the lot, sheriff's logo on the side, a second cruiser tailing behind. Didn't bother him. Judges get used to seeing law enforcement everywhere. He even nodded at the first deputy as he tossed a bottle in the trash, but the guy just stared back, all suspicion, zero welcome. Yvonne must have heard it in his voice. Something was off. "Everything okay?" she asked, and Everett tried to brush it off, but his tone betrayed him. "Yeah," he answered, "just some local cops pulled in, that's all." He didn't say he'd felt that stare 1,000 times where you're seen as the stranger, no matter how many years you've been serving the law. Then came the approach. 2 deputies, one tall and sharp, the other built thick and square, both white, both walking straight at him like he owed them an answer. "Mind hanging up for a minute, sir?" the tall one said, hand on his belt. Everett, a little confused, replied, "Can I ask what this is about?" Stocky deputy piped in, "We got a call about a suspicious person out here." "You match the description." "Description?" Everett raised a brow. "Black male, alone, near the trees. Might be high." Just like that. Not a question, not a doubt. Everett didn't snap, didn't even flinch. He just said, "Officers, I'm Judge Everett. I stopped to stretch, take a call. Here's my ID." He pulled his wallet, showed his badge and licensino drama. But they didn't even glance at it. The tall one said, "We still need you to put your hands on the hood." Everett felt that familiar ache, not anger, just tired. "You just said I matched a vague description. That's not reasonable suspicion." He stood his ground, voice steady, but it only made them louder, more forceful. And when he hesitated, when he tried to explain that he knew his rights, they grabbed him, spun him around, snapped on the cuffs. His phone hit the ground, the call to Yvonne cut off. He didn't yell, didn't resist, just stood there with the kind of patience you only learn when every loud word gets used against you. But someone was watching. From the far end of the lot, a teenager in his mom's SUV, camera rolling. He caught it all. Everett trying to reason, deputies slapping cuffs on, hauling him to the cruiser. No raised voices, no fighting, just 2 officers acting like their power gave them permission, and a black man treated like he didn't belong. In the back of that squad car, Everett sat straight, wrists burning. Deputy Callahan, the tall one, stood outside like he'd just made a bust. McJura, the stocky one, kept running Everett's ID, as if some crime would pop up. The irony wasn't lost. Everett had presided over cases just like this, watched good cops and bad ones. Always the same first move. See a black man alone, assume the worst. He tried to reason, said, "I haven't been read my rights. I haven't been told what crime I supposedly committed. I'm a sitting judge in this state." Callahan didn't care. Doesn't matter if you're a judge or the governor. You follow orders. Everett was polite, sharp, wouldn't give them the fight they wanted. But nothing changed until a state trooper pulled up, brown-skinned, sunglasses, uniform crisp as Sunday. He stepped out, sized up the scene, and when he saw Everett's face, you could feel the air shift. "That's Judge Everett," The trooper said flat, "Release him." Now, the deputies stuttered, fumbled the cuffs off, suddenly all apologies. But it was too late. The story was bigger than all of them now. Everett got back in his car, wrists still burning, phone buzzing with missed calls. One was a voicemail from the woman whose son had filmed everything. "My son recorded what happened. I thought you should have a copy," she said. Didn't seem right. The video hit the internet before Everett even got home. By midnight, 500,000 people had watched a judge get treated like he was nobody, all because someone called the cops on a black man at a rest stop. At home, Yvonne met him at the door, arms wrapped tight. "They really did that?" she whispered. "Yeah," he nodded, "they did. And the only reason I'm here is that trooper." "You gonna let this go?" she asked. Everett looked out at his garden, the flowers he planted every spring, and said, "Not this time." The next morning, the courthouse was packed. Reporters, locals, lawyers, everybody had seen the video. Callahan and McGRA came in with their heads low, out of uniform, looking nothing like the tough guys from the day before. They took their seats. The bailiff called, "All rise," and Judge Everett drove back on, expression stone-cold, stepped up to the bench. The deputies saw him, and you could almost hear their hearts drop. But Everett wasn't there for revenge, he was there for the truth. He asked them straight, "Do you require recognition before treating someone with basic respect?" The room was silent. He played the video in front of everyone, the whole humiliating scene, frame by frame. Callahan tried to excuse himself. "We acted on a dispatch call, sir." Everett didn't let up. "You saw me. You made your decision. I want to know why my presence and my skin were enough for you to reach for violence." Neither answered. The judge's words cut through the room. Public servants are held to a higher standard. He recommended suspension, referred the case for civil review, and made it clear if I were anyone else, this could have ended very differently. No shouting, no drama, just the truth hanging heavy in the air. The deputies ducked out the side, but the story was out. By morning, it was everywhere: news, blogs, social media. Some folks defended the cops, called it a misunderstanding. Others saw it for what it was, a mirror of a system that treats some people as threats, no matter who they are. Everett didn't bask in the headlines. He went back to work. Life went on, but something inside shifted. Days later, Deputy McGarry came to see him, no badge, just a man who finally saw himself on camera and didn't like what he saw. He said, "I needed to own it, and I needed to thank you for not using your power the way I used mine." Everett looked at him and replied, "I forgive you not because you asked, but because I need to live with this too. I'm not giving that moment any more space than it deserves." 2 weeks later, Everett spoke at a local high school. A black girl asked if he was scared that day. "No, just tired," he said, "because I knew what was happening wasn't new." A white boy asked, "But when they found out you were a judge, they stopped. Doesn't that mean the system works?" Everett shook his head. "It means the system worked for me. You shouldn't need a title to be treated like a person." He told them, "Speak up, record it, question it. Silence is how injustice survives." At home, Yvonne handed him coffee, sat with him on the porch as the flowers bloomed again. Same porch, same man, but something had changed. He didn't have to chase justice, he was justice, steady and unbroken. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough to start something bigger. If this story stirred something in you, don't scroll by. Share it. Talk about it. Ask yourself, what kind of person will you be when no one's watching? Because silence has a price, and change only comes when we refuse to look away.